The Walt Disney Company would like for you to forget about Splash Mountain. They want you to never know that Song of the South happened or that it was the first Academy Award for a black man. Yes, Walt Disney actually did that. He actually took steps that changed the world for the better. They want you to just know about Tiana's Bayou adventure. And yet, they have one major issue to ever putting this in the memory hole and keeping it there forever. Japan seems to like the Briar Patch, and Japan seems to like our values more than Disney does. Hello folks, welcome to the Pro Channel. Happy to have each and every one of you out there. This is the place where we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. Today we have a very big day on the channel, 2 videos coming out as well as a live stream. Special live stream today at 5 p.m. Eastern as we dive into Elon Musk potentially working with Nelson Peltz in regards to Disney and trying to get the company back on the right track. We'll be covering that. You do not want to miss the live show. Today, though, we have positive, happy news, and that is that it seems like the Oriental Land Company in Tokyo, Japan, they are protecting their Splash Mountain, and yet again, it appears that they have said no to Disney in changing it. They have no desire to do so. And we're going to walk through exactly why we believe this. And we're going to show you why we think that the Oriental Land Company, which runs and owns and operates Tokyo Disneyland, might have even more fears about switching over their ride now versus in the past. If you've watched this channel for long, you may remember that we believe that OLC, back when Disney got ready to switch over from Splash Mountain to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that they said no. And we think they've said no again. Folks, we are entering into some degree of rumor and speculation territory simply because we're relying on a source here. We're going to read this article first, and we're going to tell you how it pertains to the story at hand, and that is that Splash Mountain in Tokyo isn't going anywhere anytime soon, period, nada, never, and that's probably because of how much of a screw-up Tiana's Bayou Adventure is. This is off of WDWNT, and it's by Shannon Ace. I wonder who that is. It's from July 3rd, 2023. We're going to read this article, but it's pertinent to today, I promise. Bre'r Fox and bre'r to be featured on first new merchandise item in years for Splash Mountain Get Wet Max at Tokyo Disneyland. Notice what this means is that in 2023, the OLC, probably due to licensing agreements with regard to the attraction, were able to put the bre'r characters into merchandise, their own merchandise, this being the photo op. Tokyo Disneyland has revealed a seasonal frame being featuring bre'r Fox and bre'r for the on-ride photo of Splash Mountain Get Wet Max. And by the way, this Get Wet Max is what this is all about, is that normally the Splash Mountain in Tokyo does not get you wet. The water cannons are turned way down, and they've engineered the logs such that it does not make a huge spray. And that's both because the climate in Tokyo is not conducive usually to getting wet, but also because a lot of Japanese tourists don't really want to be soaking wet. That's more of an American thing, and I don't even understand it. Honestly, maybe you do. Maybe you like it. No harm there. The frame features the logo for Splash Mountain Get Wet Max in the upper corner. bre'r and bre'r Fox are at the bottom, looking up at guests as they splash down the mountain. The image will be printed on the photo. The item is significant as it is the first item featuring the bre'r characters to be released in any country since Disney announced the closure of the attraction in Florida and California. It was believed Tokyo Disney Resort was not allowed to utilize the characters in merchandise or marketing any longer, but it seems that it's not true. Now, I want to push back a little bit here, because what we actually think has happened is we do think that Disney has revoked the ability of Oriental Land Company to use the songs in the various playlists around the park. So you can't hear Laughing Place, you can't hear Zip-a-dee-doo-dah, but it does appear that if it's directly associated with the attraction, OLC has the rights to it. We also need to take notice that at the same time we're being told, oh, everybody's going to love Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Splash Mountain is a very unpopular ride, and it's not. According to polling, it was the most popular attraction in the world in any park. At the same time that's happening, the OLC in Tokyo is pursuing even more with Splash Mountain, creating this Get Wet Max promotion, which, by the way, this is the time when they spray the cannons and when they make a big splash, and it's a special thing. It lasts for about a month or two. They're bringing back the characters because it turns out that Splash Mountain is getting more popular in Japan, not less. The design was actually the on-ride photo frame a decade ago, but with the regular Splash Mountain logo instead of the Get Wet Max logo. There was a similar seasonal Easter frame too, in 2017. The usual frame features all the characters from the ride, but hasn't changed in several years. Now, this goes on to talk about just how awesome Splash Mountain is in Tokyo. Folks, if you've never looked that up, I highly recommend that you do, because Splash Mountain in Tokyo is really, it's the best. It was the best. It always was the best. I always like the Disney World version, but Tokyo has the superior version simply by virtue of the fact that it has different loading and unloading sections. It has greater interior spaces. There was an entire land devoted to it, and it even had a restaurant, a two-story restaurant interconnected with the ride. It's something else. Now, why in the world would the OLC, why would Japan not want to switch? Well, take a look at this. If you look at the image here of what Splash Mountain looked like in Walt Disney World, let's compare what this is to what it now is. And folks, it's easy to see why Japan would look at that and go, yuck. Some people are now calling this the bush. Some people are calling it the Hobby Lobby Flower Aisle Explosion. I'm still calling it Tiana's Rainforest Cafe Adventure, if I can say it. But that's the difference. I mean, you just look, it's not hard to figure out. I mean, maybe somebody out there likes this better. I don't know who that is. But I'll say this. How do we know now? Why is this a news story that Japan seems to be saying no? Well, according to a source that we have with Disney Parks, we're not going to out this source. And again, folks, rumor and speculation territory, simply because we're depending on this person, but this person should know. They say that Get Wet Max at Tokyo Disneyland will indeed be returning. So that is a great indication. I don't know if there's a better indication you could have that Splash Mountain is going nowhere. And this also means that you're potentially seeing a situation where Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens in Walt Disney World, and you have simultaneous a promotion for Song of the South characters in Splash Mountain on the same month, on the same season. What a thing, what a thing. The OLC not backing down, not one iota. Now, why is it even less likely than ever before that they'll switch, though? Maybe they could switch next year or the year after. Come on, Pro, get with it. There's no guarantee. They could change their mind anytime. Disney's powerful, influential. They want them to switch. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you, after they look at this, and then after they look at the concept art, this is the concept art. Let's all recall, this is the concept art. This is what you were sold on. This is what got people so excited about Splash Mountain being changed. It was going to be awesome. Look at the fireflies. How are they going to train so many fireflies? Maybe they're tiny drones. But the boat, the tree, all of it, it was going to be beautiful. It was going to be amazing. Look how the grass on here actually looks like a bayou. Look at the weeping willows. Look at the moss and the trees and the foliage and the canopy. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's incredible. You got this instead. You got this instead. And it's not only that you got this instead, but Oriental Land Company, which runs Tokyo Disney, they don't want this, because this is a dramatic downgrade from this. And not only is it a downgrade from that, it's a huge downgrade from what you were promised. And this is what they managed to trick people with. Honestly, I mean, come on, this is just a trick. Look at this. That's what you were supposed to get. This is what you are getting. You were promised steak. You got a single patty McDonald's, a dry single patty McDonald's. You're not getting the best that Disney can offer. And this whole push for DEI and ESG, and we're going to get rid of this offensive, this horrible ride, this horrible attraction. We're going to give you something beautiful and amazing. It's going to be Tiana, and you're going to love it. We care about Princess and the Frog. They don't, because they give you this, because they could have spent the money on giving you an amazing E-Traction ride that looks like the concept art. Look how much better the concept art looks. And they didn't, because they don't care. At least they don't care enough to put the money behind it. So you got a strip down kind of attraction where you're going to have 68 animatronics gone and 16 replacing those. You're going to get screens and fog, and that's it. And they're going to call it nods to Splash Mountain. They're going to tell you they're Easter eggs to Splash Mountain, and what that really means is they didn't have the budget to cover up what was in Splash Mountain. They just had enough to strip out all of the joyous and beautiful and amazing animatronics, which had legacies going back decades, and destroy those with glee. That's the budget they had. That's the budget they gave to you. They have the money. They chose not to use the money because ultimately they didn't care that much. And that's why Tokyo continues to offer this major promotion during the summer for Splash Mountain, and they probably will for years and years to come. Get Wet Max. Funny translation, but it is what it is. Now, this just continues what has happened in the past 20 or so years, folks, because if you think about it, Splash Mountain and Song of the South was never controversial until, I don't know, Bob Iger came around. Up until that point, Splash Mountain was endorsed by the NAACP. Splash Mountain was the most popular attraction in the world. Now it's not. Now it's gone. Well, wait a minute. No, it's not. It's still in Tokyo. It's still there. Japan has somehow become the protector, the curator of our myths and legends and our beloved franchises. I don't know how this happened, but we're there now. Folks, I want to go back now. For many of you, you were not here on the channel back when we did this, but early last year, when the channel was much smaller, we had on Valarie Stewart, the daughter of the man who played bre'r originally in Song of the South, Nick Stewart. I want you to hear what she had to say about what happened and how things went down with Song of the South and Splash Mountain. I want you to hear it in her own words. She was literally the last person who knew what happened on the set of Song of the South, how the actors were treated, what Disney's plan was with all of this. She was there. She was physically there and knew. She was an eyewitness. We lost Valarie Stewart last year. She passed away, unfortunately, just a month or two after we did the interview. But I want you to hear in her own words and take this with you as you consider the fact that now Japan is the place where they will protect the stories and the legends of people who work so hard to make such a difference and to push the African mythologies and the Black actors to the forefront. Here's Valarie Stewart.
The audience, whoever it is, black, white, or whatever, they listen to people who know nothing about what they're talking about, but they look like they do. They put on glasses or they look like they're teachers, and they make these statements that are far-fetched. And then the people, the audience, the people that are participating, thank them for teaching them something. It's really frightening.
And yet here you are, the daughter of the voice of bre'r, the daughter of, well, you're, as we've said before in this video, you're so important because you're one of the only people that we can turn to find out these true stories, because Hattie McDaniel and James Baskett didn't have children. Yeah. Mr. Nick Stewart did, and you're the child who we have on with us right now that we can talk to and find out what was the real deal, what really happened.
He mentions on his interview for the Academy, the TV Academy, that he felt that James Baskett died of a broken heart. That's what he felt, and he did say that. When I was born, she would go out into the audience and watch him with his entertainment. He had a tap dancing comedy act where he would dance real slow and act real slow, and he would end up doing steps and dancing fast. And she would leave me with, oh God, my mind. Whew. Anyway, Ella Fitzgerald would babysit me in the.
Well, you know, that's quite the name to forget for a moment, I would say.
I forget everything. It's really crazy. It's really crazy.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting a name drop such as that for watching you.
No, I just do that. I do that.
It's okay.
I don't know. I was
born. Is it fair to say that your dad was the creative side of it, and your mom had more of a business sense to her? Is that fair, or did they share in both of those qualities?
They shared. They worked together.
What's one of your favorite memories of both of your parents?
That's a good question.
What puts a smile on your face today when you think back?
I just miss them. I wish they were here to take part of this. They were fighters. They were fighters. They were did all this by themselves. They didn't get grants or anything. They worked hard.
And folks, I think that's the place to stop. I think that's the place to end it. Thank goodness for Japan. Who would have ever thought that they would be protecting our former values, our former cultural icons? Who would have ever thought it? But that's where we are. But I think it's good news because it's waking up the world. Because whereas Disney is ideologically driven to give you drivel by stripping down an e-ticket attraction and replacing it with some gaudy plastic plants and calling it a day, there's somewhere out there that actually cares and still does what Disney once did, and that's Tokyo Disneyland Resort. That's the OLC. Largely heralded as the place with the best theme parks in the world. Maybe that'll change with Epic Universe, we don't know. But folks, it's good news because somewhere Splash Mountain is still going to stand, and we believe for decades to come. And that means you can go visit it. You can still go ride it, and I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a zip-a-dee-doo-dah kind of thing. We hope they'll have the laughing place there for very, very many rides yet to come. Don't throw me in that briar patch. All right, folks, that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed. Big videos coming up later today, including the live stream. Don't miss it. If you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, keep having a zip-a-dee-doo-dah kind of day. It's satisfactual.
Floral, it's time for you to walk the plank.
What? Why?
Because you haven't subscribed to WDW Pro yet. Nor bookmark thatparkplace.com on your web browser to get great articles from great contributors.
What?